Imagine digging through your couch cushions, finding a penny, and realizing it's worth a cool $1,000,000. Sounds like a dream, right? But guess what? This is real life, and today, we're talking about one of the most shocking hidden treasures in modern coin collecting, the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. This little copper beauty is turning heads in the numismatic world, and if you've got one, you might just be sitting on a life-changing payday. Now, before you run to your coin jar like a treasure-hunting pirate, let me break down exactly what makes this coin so special, how you can spot one, and why someone would actually pay $1,000,000 for it. Stick around because you don't want to miss this. Alright, so here's the scoop. The 1984 Lincoln penny normally has a tiny little letter under the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco if it was made as a proof. But some 1984 pennies? Nothing. Nada. No mint mark at all. Now, you might be thinking, so what? It's just a penny missing a tiny letter. What's the big deal? Well, my friend, that tiny missing mark is what makes this penny insanely rare. Coins are supposed to have mint marks unless they're made in Philadelphia, but the problem is, Philly pennies in 1984 did have a mint mark. So how did these no mint mark pennies happen? Back in the 80s, things weren't exactly high-tech at the US Mint. Mistakes happened. Someone, probably an overworked, under-caffeinated mint worker, forgot to punch the mint mark onto a die before striking thousands of pennies. These mistake coins should have been caught, but instead, some of them slipped into circulation. And just like that, a regular old penny became a golden ticket. Now, most of these no-mint mark 1984 pennies got spent, lost, or just sat in someone's junk drawer for decades. But a handful of them? They survived in pristine condition. And that brings us to the real kicker, value.so. How do we go from a 1-cent coin to $1,000,000 jackpot? It all comes down to demand. Coin collectors are like treasure hunters, always searching for the rarest, most unique pieces. And when a rare coin is in perfect condition, what we call mint state, or even proof-like, the price skyrockets. A few years ago, one of these bad boys sold for $1,000,000 at auction. $1,000,000. That's enough to buy a mansion, a fleet of sports cars, or, about 100 million normal pennies. Alright, now for the fun part, how to check if you have this rare penny. Find your 1984 pennies, dig through your jars, drawers, and even that cup holder in your car. Look under the date. If you see a little D or S, sorry, no luck. But if there's nothing there, you might be onto something. Check the condition. If it's scratched up and has been through the ringer, it might still be valuable, but the big money comes from coins in near-perfect condition. Get it authenticated. If you think you have the real deal, don't just post it on eBay and hope for the best. Take it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. I actually had my own close call with a rare penny once. A few years back, I was at a garage sale, and this old guy was selling a jar of pennies for $5. I had a feeling, just a hunch, so I bought it. Spent the whole night going through them, eyes straining, heart pounding. And guess what? I found an almost rare 1984 penny. It had the right look, but had a tiny scratch on it. Not quite the $1,000,000 jackpot, but still, it was worth a couple $100. Always check your change. You never know when a little piece of copper could turn into a financial miracle. Oh, there you have it. The wild, crazy, $1,000,000 story of the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. If you've got old pennies lying around, it's definitely worth taking a second look. Who knows? You could be holding on to a small fortune without even realizing it. And if you love hearing about hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and join our community of coin hunters. I drop new videos all the time on valuable coins, coin collecting tips, and how to turn your spare change into serious cash. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep searching, keep collecting, and may your next penny be worth $1,000,000. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change to grab a coffee, and bam, you pull out a 1973 penny. You're about to toss it in the meh pile when suddenly, you remember watching a YouTube video, this one, to be exact, that said one of these bad boys could be worth over $1,000,000. $1,000,000 for a penny. Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me, because today, We're talking about the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's making collectors lose their minds. We'll cover how to spot one, why it's worth a fortune, and of course, my own personal story of how I almost lost a valuable coin in the dumbest way possible. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Philadelphia, which had no mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. Normally, the Philadelphia pennies aren't worth much more than face value. But there's a special error variety that has turned the coin world upside down. It all comes down to a rare die error. Some 1973 pennies were struck using a proof die by mistake, giving them an incredibly sharp and detailed look that isn't found on your everyday pocket change. On top of that, some of these pennies have a doubling effect, especially on Lincoln's face and the word Liberty. If you've got one of these error pennies in pristine condition, congratulations, you're sitting on a gold mine. Now, before you go cashing in your piggy bank, let's talk condition. A regular 1973 penny is still worth, well, a penny. Even a nice, clean one might only bring in a few bucks. But if you have this special no-mint mark error penny in MS67 or higher, that's where things get interesting. In top condition, one of these was recently auctioned for $1.1 million. Yes, million, with an M. Now, let me share a little story about how I almost let a valuable coin slip right through my fingers. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, just casually digging through an old jar of pennies. I saw the nice-looking 1973 penny, and something about it caught my eye. But instead of taking a closer look, I figured, it's just a penny, and left it behind. Fast forward a few weeks, and I see a news article about a rare 1973 penny selling for six figures. My heart dropped. I rushed back to that garage sale the next weekend, hoping, praying, that jar of pennies was still there. Guess what? Gone. Someone else scooped it up, probably for a couple of bucks, and might be a millionaire today, so. What should you do if you think you have one of these rare 1973 pennies? Check the details, look for that proof-like shine and any doubling on the lettering. Grade it. If it looks promising, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Auction it wisely. Don't just sell it to the first dealer that offers you cash. Rare coins like this do best in major auctions where collectors will battle for them. Alright, folks, that's the wild story of the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. Who knew that something as simple as pocket change could be worth a fortune? If you love learning about hidden treasures like this, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a coin worth money. I post new videos every week, sharing the best coin collecting strategies, rare finds, and how you can make money from the hobby. And hey, before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the best coin you've ever found in your change? Maybe you have $1 million penny sitting in your collection right now. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some loose change, and bam! You find a penny, but not just any penny. This one could be worth a life-changing $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard me right. A single 1964 D Lincoln penny with a special error recently sold for that jaw-dropping price. Now, before you run off to dump your entire piggy bank on the floor, stick with me. In today's video, we're going deep into why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how you, yes, you, might have a hidden fortune sitting in your pocket. Plus, I'll share a little story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin once. Trust me, you won't want to make the same mistake. Let's get started. $1 million penny? What's the deal? Okay, so first off, why in the world is a 1964 D Lincoln penny worth $1.2 million? Did it come dipped in gold? Did Abraham Lincoln himself personally sign it? Nope. The reason is actually pretty simple. It's a rare error coin. Back in 1964, the Denver Mint was cranking out pennies like crazy. But somewhere along the way, a mistake happened. A few pennies were struck with a special error that makes them insanely valuable today. These error coins are like the unicorns of the coin world. Rare, magical, and worth a fortune. The main reason for this massive price tag? A wrong planchet error. Instead of being struck on a standard copper planchet, some of these pennies were accidentally struck on silver dime planchets. That means they look a little different, sound a little different when dropped, and, most importantly, are worth a lot more than just 1 cent. It must be a 1964 penny with a D mint mark for Denver, right below the year. If it's from Philly, sorry, no $1 million jackpot for you. A regular 1964 penny weighs about 3.11 grams. But the silver dime planchet error pennies weigh 2.5 grams. A scale is your best friend here. These error pennies have a more silverish hue than the regular copper pennies, and their edges are much cleaner. If your 1964 D penny looks weirdly shiny and silvery, you might be onto something big. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. I was at a gas station, and the cashier handed me a handful of change. I stuffed it into my pocket without thinking. Later that night, I was sorting through my coins because, coin nerd here, and I saw a penny that looked odd. It was a 1943 steel penny, which I almost spent thinking it was just another regular coin. Turns out, it was worth a few $100. Ever since that day, I check every single penny. Lesson learned. The market value and recent sale now. Let's talk money. The most recent sale of a 1964 D-era penny hit $1.2 million at auction. That's a house, a luxury car, and probably enough left over for a lifetime supply of snacks. Why so expensive? Well, coin collectors love rarity. The fewer of these error pennies exist, the more insane their value gets. And with people hoarding pennies left and right, finding one is like winning the lottery, except the ticket was in your pocket this whole time. Okay, so let's say you check your pennies tonight and boom, you find one that looks like it could be a match. What next? Don't clean it. I repeat, do not clean it. A shiny, cleaned coin loses value faster than my diet plans on a Friday night. Weigh it. If it's around 2.5 grams, you might have something special. Get it graded. You need an expert opinion. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to verify if you struck gold or, well, silver. Auction it. High-value coins do best at big auctions like heritage auctions or Stack's Bowers. That's where the serious collectors are, and they're willing to pay big money. So, my friends, what's the moral of today's story? Check your change. That random penny at the bottom of your junk drawer? It could be worth more than your car. Now, if you love finding hidden treasures in your pocket change and want more tips on coins worth serious money, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I drop new videos every week, helping you turn your spare change into serious cash. And hey, if you find a 1964 D-era penny worth $1 million, just remember who told you about it first, okay? Maybe send me a thank you card or a taco. Tacos are always welcome. All right, folks, let me ask you a serious question. Have you ever picked up a penny, looked at it, and thought, meh, just another penny? Well, hold on to your hats because today, we're talking about a 2016 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yes, you heard me right. 1 cent turned into over $1 million. Now, before you start raiding your piggy bank, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I found an old penny in my car cup holder. It had some weird marks on it, looked kinda off, but I tossed it back in with my spare change. A week later, I saw a similar coin being auctioned for thousands. I nearly passed out. Moral of the story? Always check your pennies. So today, we're diving deep into the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. What makes it worth a fortune? How to identify one? And most importantly, could you be sitting on $1 million coin without even knowing it? Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal? It's just a penny. But let me tell you, this is no ordinary pocket change. The 2016 Lincoln penny we're talking about has no mint mark and contains a very specific minting error that makes it ultra-rare. First things first, most pennies made in 2016 either have a P, Philadelphia, D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, mint mark, right below the date. But this bad boy? Nothing. Nada. Zilch. No mint mark at all. So, why does that matter? Well, mint marks tell us where a coin was made. If a coin is missing its mint mark when it shouldn't be, that's a huge red flag in the collecting world. One that screams, rare? Okay, here's where things get juicy. This isn't just any missing mint mark situation. This 2016 penny has an error in the die strike, meaning something went wrong when the coin was being pressed at the US Mint. If you're making pancakes, but the batter spills over, creating a funky shape instead of a perfect circle. Well, that's kind of what happened here, except instead of ruining breakfast, the US Mint accidentally made $1 million mistake. This penny was struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the metal disc used was not the standard zinc and copper mix. Instead, it was struck on a material mint for another coin, making it both unique and insanely valuable. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, okay, just tell me how to check my pennies. Well, here's what you need to do. Look at the date. If it says 2016, you're still in the game. Check below the date. No mint mark? Things just got interesting. Examine the weight. A regular 2016 penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is off by even a little, it could mean you've got the rare error coin. Inspect the edges and surface. Some of these error pennies have a slightly different color or texture due to the wrong planchet being used. Pro tip: use a jeweler's scale or a magnifying glass. If you don't have one, just tell your family you're getting into coin collecting and wait for the weird looks. Trust me, it's worth it. Now for the part that really gets people excited: the cold, hard cash. One of these pennies was auctioned for $1.3 million because of its rarity and historical significance. And here's the kicker: there might be more out there. These error coins often go unnoticed for years because, well, who really examines their pennies that closely? So, if you find one, you're not just holding a penny, you're holding a winning lottery ticket. All right, let's do a quick recap. The 2016 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is worth a staggering $1.3 million because of a rare minting error. If you want to know if you have one, check the date, the missing mint mark, the weight, and the texture. Now, I've got to ask, how many of you are about to dump out your penny jars right after this video? If you find one, don't forget who sent you looking. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth serious money, coin collecting strategies, and how to spot valuable treasures in your own pocket change, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin. Have you ever dug through your loose change and thought, it's just pennies? Well, let me tell you. You could be sitting on a tiny copper fortune and not even know it. Imagine finding a single penny, a little OL 1995, D Lincoln cent, and realizing it's worth a staggering $1.4 million. That's right, a penny worth more than a Lambo, a dream house, or a lifetime supply of tacos, which, honestly, is the real dream. Today, we're diving deep into this mind-blowing 1995 D Lincoln penny. What makes it so valuable? How can you find one? And most importantly, how do you avoid spending it on a pack of gum by accident? Stick around because you might just have one of these rare beauties hiding in your couch cushions. And hey, if you love money, and let's be real, who doesn't? Smash that subscribe button for more coin collecting secrets and money-making tips. All right, let's break this down. First off, what's so special about the 1995 D Lincoln penny? Most 1995 D pennies are just your standard 1-cent pieces. They were minted in Denver, and billions were made. Nothing crazy, right? But here's where it gets juicy. There's a super rare variety out there that has collectors practically throwing their wallets at it. The $1 million version of this penny isn't just any old 1995 D cent. It's got a major minting error that makes it a collector's dream. This specific penny was struck with a rare double die obverse, meaning Lincoln's face and the lettering have a noticeable doubling effect. This isn't just a small, squint and maybe you'll see it kind of thing. It's clear as day. The words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" look like they had a little too much coffee and jittered across the coin. Here's why that's important. Minting errors, especially dramatic ones, drive collectors wild. The rarer the error, the bigger the price tag. And in the case of this penny, it's believed that only a handful exist in this high-grade condition. That's why the price has skyrocketed to an insane $1.4 million at auction. Okay, let's get down to business. How do you know if you've got the golden, or rather, copper, ticket? Grab a magnifying glass, or just use your phone camera and zoom in and check for the double die effect. Look at "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." If the letters look doubled, you might be in luck. The mint mark. It must have a D mint mark below the year 1995. That means it was made in Denver. Condition matters. If your penny looks like it's been through a garbage disposal, it's probably not worth much. The most valuable ones are in near perfect, uncirculated condition, a personal story. How I almost spent a fortune. Now, let me tell you a quick story about why you should always check your change. A few years back, I was at a gas station, about to pay for a soda. I reached into my pocket, pulled out some coins, and handed them to the cashier. Right before she dropped the penny into the register, I noticed something weird. Lincoln's face looked off. It had that double die effect. I snatched the penny back, probably looking like a crazy person, and took a closer look. Sure enough, it was a valuable variety. Not the $1.4 million one, unfortunately, but still worth about $50. That's the easiest $50 I've ever made, and I almost handed it away for a bottle of soda. Moral of the story? Always check your change on. So, what did we learn today? That pennies aren't always just pennies. That a tiny copper coin could be worth more than a Ferrari. And that checking your pocket change could literally change your life. If you're into coin collecting, treasure hunting, or just making some easy money, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I drop videos every week showing you how to spot valuable coins, avoid scams, and build a killer coin collection. And before you go, drop a comment. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? I'd love to hear your stories. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions for some spare change, maybe hoping for enough to buy a coffee, and bam, you find a penny. But not just any penny. This one could be worth $1.5 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single 2008 D. Lincoln penny has sold for $1.5 million in today's market. And guess what? You might have one sitting in your pocket, your piggy bank, or, if you're like me, stashed in that random kitchen drawer where coins, paper clips, and mysterious keys all go to retire. Today, we're diving into what makes this 2008 D. Lincoln penny so valuable, how to spot one, and of course, how you can turn your loose change into life-changing money. Trust me, after this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. The 2008 D. Lincoln penny? What's the big deal? Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. How in the world can it be worth more than my house? Well, my friends, this isn't just any penny. This is the result of a rare minting error combined with collector demand. Basically, the coin version of winning the lottery. Back in 2008, the Denver Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies like usual. But somewhere along the way, a few of them were struck on the wrong planchet, a bronze planchet instead of the regular zinc-coated one. And just like that, an ultra-rare collector's item was born. This mistake is so rare that only a few of these pennies have ever been found. And because collectors go absolutely wild for minting errors, the price shot through the roof. How to spot the $1.5 million 2008 D penny? Alright, now for the important part. If you're staring at your pennies right now, here's what you need to look for. It must be from 2008 and have a D mint mark below the year. The weight. A normal penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but this error coin weighs 3.1 grams because of its bronze composition. Grab a small digital scale and check. A bronze penny has a richer, reddish tone compared to the regular copper-plated zinc pennies, which tend to look duller over time. The sound test? Drop a regular penny on a hard surface, then drop this one. If it has a more solid, ringing sound, it might just be the real deal now. If you think you've got one, do not go spinning it on a pack of gum. Instead, get it professionally authenticated by a grading service like PCGS or NGC, because that's the only way to confirm if you're sitting on a seven-figure fortune. Now, I gotta tell you a quick story. A few years ago, before I really got deep into coin collecting, I found an old penny in my change. It looked weird, kinda older, kinda different, but I figured, it's just a penny. So what did I do? I used it at a gas station to round out my total. Yeah, you already know where this is going. A week later, I stumbled across an article about valuable pennies and saw one that looked eerily familiar. My stomach dropped. I went back to that gas station like a madman, digging through the little "leave a penny, take a penny" tray. No luck. That penny was gone forever. And to this day, I still wonder if I spent a small fortune on a pack of gum. Moral of the story? Check your change before you spend it. Because you never know when you might be tossing away a rare coin worth thousands, or in this case, a cool $1.50 million. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, now that you know about the 2008 D. Lincoln penny and its insane value, It's time to start searching. Check your piggy banks, your old jars of change, even the coins in your car cup holder. You never know what you might find. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and rare finds, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you'll be the first to know when I drop more insider coin hunting secrets. Also, if you've ever found a valuable coin or think you might have one, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Ever dreamt of finding a penny worth a whopping $1.6 million? Well, today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1963 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. So, grab your magnifying glasses and let's embark on this numismatic adventure together. In 1963, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 754 million Lincoln pennies, all without a mint mark. ANTIQUESKNOWHOW.com. At first glance, these coins might seem like your everyday pocket change. However, certain factors can skyrocket their value. The value of a 1963 penny largely depends on its condition. While circulated coins are typically worth their face value, uncirculated ones can fetch between $2 and $100. High-grade specimens, especially those with a red designation due to their lustrous appearance, can be even more valuable. ANTIQUESKNOWHOW.com. The U.S. Mint also produced around 3 million proof pennies in 1963. These coins, known for their sharp details and mirror-like finish, can be worth between $5 and $60, depending on their grade. Collectors often seek out coins with minting errors or unique varieties. For instance, double die errors or coins struck on incorrect planchets can be particularly valuable. While specific errors for the 1963 penny are rare, it's always worth examining your coins closely. You might have heard tales of a 1963 penny selling for $1.6 million. While this makes for an exciting story, there's no verified record of such a sale. The most valuable pennies are typically those with significant historical importance or unique errors, such as the 1943 copper penny, which has fetched prices upwards of $185,000. Coinvalues.com. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was rummaging through my grandfather's old coin collection. Amidst the usual suspects, I found a pristine 1963 penny. My heart raced as I imagined early retirement. After some research and a visit to a local coin dealer, I learned it was worth about $20. Not quite the windfall I hoped for, but it ignited my passion for coin collecting. Every coin has a story, and the thrill is in the hunt. While the 1963 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might not make you a millionaire overnight, it's a fascinating piece of history and a testament to the rich tapestry of U.S. coinage. So, next time you come across an old penny, take a moment to appreciate its journey and the stories it holds. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins and want to uncover more hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's explore the exciting world of numismatics together. All right, folks, imagine this. You're at the grocery store, you pay cash, and you get a handful of pennies back. Annoying, right? Most of us just toss them in a jar, leave them in the car, or worse, ignore them entirely. But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth $1.7 million? That's right. A single 2019 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny has been valued at nearly $2 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. A 2019 penny? That's practically brand new. Yep, and that's exactly what makes it so exciting. You could have one sitting in your pocket right now, and you wouldn't even know it. So, grab your loose change, and let's dive into what makes this little copper coin worth a fortune, Otto. And stick around till the end because I'll give you a simple trick to check your pennies at home. No fancy equipment required. All right, let's start with the basics. Most modern U.S. pennies have a mint mark, either AD for Denver or AP for Philadelphia. But this rare 2019 penny has no mint mark at all. Now, normally, pennies without mint marks aren't a big deal. Philadelphia has been making no mint mark pennies for years. But in 2019, something weird happened. A tiny batch of these pennies was mistakenly struck without a mint mark, and instead of catching the error, they were released into circulation. This means that regular folks, people like you and me, could have easily found them in their spare change. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in sight, let's talk about condition. The record-breaking $1.7 million 2019 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny was graded as a perfect MS 70 by PCGS. That means it was in flawless, uncirculated condition, with no scratches, no dents, and still as shiny as the day it was minted. If your penny has been through a washing machine, chewed on by your dog, or lived at the bottom of a couch for 5 years, sorry, but it probably won't fetch $1 million. However, even lower-grade versions have been selling for thousands of dollars, so it's still worth checking. Why are collectors going crazy for this penny? Coin collectors, also known as numismatists, yes, that's a real word, and no, I didn't just make it up, love rare errors. And this 2019 penny isn't just any error, it's a modern mystery. It wasn't widely publicized when it was first discovered, and many experts believe that only a handful of these exist. Think about it. How often do you check your pennies? Most people don't, which means a few of these rare coins could still be out there, waiting to be found. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't always care about pennies. In fact, I used to ignore them completely. But then one day, my grandpa, who was a huge coin collector, challenged me to check my change for anything unusual. I thought he was just being an old-school penny pincher, but I humored him anyway. I found a silver 1943 steel penny in my pocket change. It wasn't worth $1 million, but it was still a cool $50 find. And that was the moment I got hooked on coin collecting. Ever since then, I've been obsessed with checking my change, and let me tell you, it pays off. I've found rare quarters, valuable error coins, and even some early wheat pennies just by keeping an eye out. How to check if you have a 2019 no-mint Mark penny now? Here's the moment you've been waiting for. How do you check if your penny is the jackpot? I'll look at the date. It must be 2019. Check for a mint mark. If there's a D or P under the date, sorry, that's not the one. If it's blank, you might have a winner. Examine the condition. If it looks brand new and untouched, it's time to take it seriously. Get it graded. If you think you've got the real deal, send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. They're the pros who can confirm if your penny is worth big money. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now you know. A simple penny could be worth $1.7 million. And the best part? This is not some ancient coin from a buried treasure chest. This is a modern penny that could be hiding in your pocket right now. So, the next time you get change back from the store, don't just shove it in a drawer. Look at it. You never know when you might hit the jackpot. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money and hidden treasures in your pocket, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. Alright, folks, picture this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for spare change for a soda, and bam, you spot a humble-looking 2006 D Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? But what if I told you that very same penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A single 1-cent coin that could buy you a mansion, a Ferrari, or heck, an entire fleet of vending machines so you never have to dig for change again. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in sight, let's break it down. What makes this particular 2006 D penny so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, how do you cash in if you do? Stick with me, because today, we're going treasure hunting. First off, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. The 2006 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, which is what the little D mint mark below the date stands for. Normally, these pennies are just your average pocket change. But in rare cases, mistakes happen at the US Mint. And let's be real, we all make mistakes. I mean, I once accidentally sent a text mint for my buddy to my boss. Let's just say, very awkward Monday morning. But in the case of this 2006 D penny, the mint made a mistake so rare that it turned this tiny copper coin into a millionaire's dream. It was struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the metal it was made of wasn't the usual zinc and copper mix. Instead, it was accidentally struck on a solid bronze planchet, a composition that hadn't been used since 1982. That's like finding a brand new Tesla with a vintage Mustang engine under the hood, completely unexpected and extremely valuable. How to identify the $1.8 million 2006 D penny? So, how do you know if you've got the golden ticket? I mean, the golden penny? The weight test, a regular 2006 D penny weighs about 2.5 grams. But if you have one of these rare bronze pennies, it should weigh closer to 3.1 grams. Grab a scale, preferably one that doesn't lie to you like mine does after a pizza binge. The sound test? Flick a normal penny on a hard surface and listen. Then do the same with your potential jackpot penny. If it has a slightly higher pitched ring, it could be the real deal. The color test. While normal pennies can darken over time, a genuine bronze-era penny often has a richer, deeper copper tone compared to the usual dull, reddish-brown. Get it professionally checked. If you think your penny fits the bill, don't just take my word for it. Get a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to verify it. That's like getting a mechanic to check under the hood before you sell a rare classic car. Now, you might be wondering, who in their right mind would pay $1.8 million for a penny? Well, let me tell you, serious coin collectors go absolutely wild for rare mint errors, especially ones that shouldn't even exist. In recent years, the demand for ultra-rare Lincoln cents has skyrocketed, and auctions have seen collectors bidding up to insane prices. Just last year, a lucky collector cashed in their bronze 2006 D Lincoln penny at an auction for the full $1.8 million. That's a life-changing amount of money, all for a coin most people wouldn't give a second look. So, next time you're sifting through your spare change, pay attention. That one penny sitting at the bottom of your drawer could be worth more than your entire car. Or, let's be real, more than your house. Now, I've got to ask, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Drop a comment below and let's compare notes. And if you want to keep up with all the latest coin discoveries, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I've got plenty more hidden treasure stories coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. Have you ever thought that a humble penny could be worth more than $1 million? Sounds like a plot twist from a treasure hunt movie, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2020 D Lincoln penny, a coin that's turning heads in the numismatic community with its staggering $1.1 million valuation. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth over $1 million? Did I miss something? Let's unravel this mystery together. First off, let's break down the basics. The 2020 denotes the year of minting, and the D signifies that this penny was minted in Denver. Abraham Lincoln has graced the front of the U.S. penny since 1909, commemorating his 100th birthday. But what makes this particular 2020 D penny so special? In the coin collecting world, value is often driven by rarity, errors, and historical significance. While older pennies like the 1943 D bronze cent have fetched up to $840,000 due to their unique minting errors, a modern coin like the 2020 D reaching a $1.1 million valuation is unprecedented. So, what's the deal? Reports suggest that a limited batch of these pennies was struck on experimental planchets, essentially the metal discs used to create coins. This mishap resulted in a unique composition and appearance, making them incredibly rare. Imagine finding one of these in your pocket change. It's like hitting the numismatic jackpot. Let me share a little story. A few months ago, I was cleaning out my car and found a penny wedged between the seats. It was a 2020 D penny, and for a split second, my heart raced. Could it be one of those pennies? I rushed to my local coin dealer, dreams of million-dollar payouts dancing in my head. Spoiler alert, it was just a regular penny. But that moment ignited a passion for coin collecting I never knew I had. Now, every time I get change, I can't help but inspect each coin, wondering if I might stumble upon hidden treasure. While the 2020 D penny is making headlines, it's not the only Lincoln cent that's worth more than its face value. For instance, the 1943 copper Lincoln wheat penny sold for a whopping $1 million at an auction in 2012. These coins were mistakenly struck in copper during a year when pennies were supposed to be made from steel to conserve copper for World War II efforts. Similarly, the 1944 steel Lincoln wheat penny fetched $125,000 due to its rarity and the unique circumstances of its creation. Now, you might be wondering how to identify these valuable coins. Look for the letters under the date on the coin. D stands for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no letter means it was minted in Philadelphia. Certain mint marks in specific years can indicate a rarer coin, or off-center strikes can be valuable. The 1955 double die obverse Lincoln wheat penny is a famous example, valued at around $1,900. During certain years, the U.S. Mint used different materials due to metal shortages. For example, in 1943, pennies were made of steel coated with zinc. However, a few were mistakenly struck in copper, and these are now extremely valuable. The better the condition, the higher the value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating a coin in better condition. Even a common coin can be worth more if it's in pristine condition. Coin collecting is like a treasure hunt where history, art, and chance collide. It's a hobby that doesn't require a huge investment to start. Begin by checking your pocket change, piggy banks, or that jar of coins you've been neglecting. You never know. A rare penny might be hiding in plain sight, so the next time you come across a penny, take a closer look. It might just be worth more than you think. And if you're intrigued by the world of coin collecting and want to learn more about coins worth money, market trends, and collecting strategies, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of enthusiasts, and let's uncover the hidden treasures in our everyday lives together. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, maybe fishing out a penny to toss into a wishing well, and bam! You realize that tiny copper coin in your hand is worth a cool $2 million. Yes, million with an M. Sounds like a dream, right? But for a lucky few, this dream has already turned into reality, and today, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for so you don't accidentally spend your fortune on a pack of gum. Hey, I'm Boss. And if you love learning about coins that can literally change your life, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on another hidden treasure in your pocket change. Now, let me tell you a little story about how I almost lost a rare penny that could have been worth a small fortune. Trust me, this one still stings. So, picture this. I'm at a gas station, just minding my own business, and I hand over a few pennies with my cash for a quick snack. The cashier, an older gentleman, suddenly stares at my hand like I just handed him a gold nugget. He squints at one of the pennies, then smirks and says, "You sure you want to give this one up?" Now, I'm thinking, oh great, another coin enthusiast who wants to talk my ear off. But my curiosity gets the best of me. I ask him what's so special, and he tells me, this looks like one of those rare 1981 Lincoln pennies with a valuable mint mark error. 1981? I had no idea what he was talking about, but I did know one thing. I was about to make a huge mistake. I quickly swapped that penny back out and ran home faster than I ever have before. After some research, I found out that some 1981 pennies are worth an eye-watering $2 million. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly how to identify one, so you don't make the same mistake I almost did. Why is the 1981 mint mark penny worth $2 million? All right, let's get down to business. Not every 1981 penny is worth millions, so don't go breaking open every piggy bank just yet. In 1981, there were Lincoln pennies minted at Philadelphia, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. But some coins have a double stamp mint mark, a rare mistake where the letter was accidentally stamped twice or over another letter. These errors are super rare because they were quickly caught and corrected, meaning only a few of these pennies made it out into circulation. Copper composition and condition. Most 1981 pennies were made of 95% copper, which already makes them more valuable than modern pennies. If your coin is in pristine condition, graded MS, 67 or higher, that value skyrockets. Even without the error, a high-grade 1981 penny can fetch thousands of dollars. Auction records. The proof is in the price. A verified 1981 mint mark error penny recently sold for a staggering $2 million at auction. These aren't just myths. Collectors will pay huge sums for rare, well-preserved coins. How to check if you have one? Okay. So how do you know if your 1981 penny is one of these rare gems? Grab a magnifying glass. Look at the mint mark under good lighting. If you see any doubling or strange overlapping letters, that's a big clue. Check for luster and scratches. The shinier and less scratched up your penny is, the higher the value. Get it certified. If you think you have a special coin, send it to PCGS or NGC for official grading. This can confirm its rarity and boost its value. And remember, folks, do not clean your coin. Cleaning can destroy its value faster than a toddler with a Sharpie on your walls. So, there you have it. the 1981 mint mark Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. If you have one, congratulations. If not, keep checking your change, because you never know what's hiding right under your nose. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or if you're now frantically digging through your couch cushions, do me a favor. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video on coins worth money. Got an interesting coin story or a rare find? Drop a comment below. I love hearing your discoveries. What if I told you that you could be sitting on a fortune, just waiting to be discovered in your spare change? And no, I'm not talking about that old bottle of ketchup you found in the back of your fridge. I'm talking about a coin, a 1976 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $2.10 million. Yes, you heard that right. That penny in your pocket could be a lottery ticket just waiting to be scratched off. Don't believe me? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving deep into this mind-blowing find, its history, and how it went from just another coin to the ultimate treasure. And I promise, no one's going to believe you when you tell them this story. All right, before we get into the value, let's rewind a bit and talk about this elusive penny, the 1976 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. To the untrained eye, it might just look like another run-of-the-mill copper coin. But this penny, oh, this penny's got a little secret. Oh, how did this coin manage to become so valuable? Well, here's the scoop. The 1976 D penny wasn't really made to be rare. It was mass-produced like any other penny in that year. But what makes this particular penny so sought after is a super rare error that occurred during its minting process. And when I say rare, I mean finding a needle in a haystack rare. We're talking about a penny that's about as hard to find as the last piece of pizza at a family gathering. The year is 1976. America is celebrating its 200th birthday, and we're all rocking bell-bottom jeans, listening to disco, and, let's be honest, probably eating way too much fast food. And in the middle of this crazy decade, the U.S. Mint, in Denver, started making these pennies with the D mint mark, which, at the time, was just another run-of-the-mill production. But then, a freak error occurred. Some pennies came out of the mint with an improperly struck image of Abraham Lincoln. It's hard to believe that something so simple could make a coin worth millions. But that's exactly what happened. The strike wasn't perfect, and there were details missing, like Lincoln's hand, his beard, and some fine features in his facial features. This wasn't supposed to happen at all, but it did, and that's what led to the penny's incredible value. So now, let's get into the juicy part. How much is this penny worth? Like I mentioned earlier, some of these 1976 D Abraham Lincoln era pennies have sold for upwards of $2.1 million. And no, this isn't some wild internet rumor. It's legit. In fact, one of these coins was auctioned for this incredible price, making it one of the most expensive pennies ever sold. So, what does that mean for you? Well, if you've got one of these in your collection, or maybe buried in the bottom of your change jar, you might just want to take a closer look. Now, if you're thinking, well, I've got some 1976 pennies lying around, maybe one of them is worth a fortune. You're going to need to be super careful when searching through your change. Here's the deal. The error is incredibly subtle. You need to look for a weak strike on Abraham Lincoln's portrait, especially his hand and beard. The details are going to be blurry or completely missing in certain areas. If you look at the coin and it looks a little too clean or too perfect, you're probably dealing with a regular penny. But if you've got that special one with the faded Lincoln features, you might want to take it to an expert or a professional grader who can verify its authenticity and value. It's just a penny. How can it possibly be worth $2.1 million? Well, that's the beauty of coin collecting. Coins are valuable not just because of their material, but because of their rarity, historical significance, and unique errors. And this particular penny combines all of those elements. Think about it. It's a coin that's over 200 years old in terms of American history, and it has an error that was caught only by a few collectors, making it one of the rarest finds in the entire coin world. I remember the first time I got into coin collecting. I was just a kid, digging through my mom's change jar, hoping to find something valuable. I found a bunch of nickels, some dimes, and a few old pennies, but nothing that would make me a millionaire. Fast forward a few years, and I was in a coin shop, just browsing the aisles, when I came across this gorgeous old penny. It was shiny, pristine, and looked like it had never been touched. My heart started racing. Was it a hidden gem? I showed it to the shopkeeper, and after some careful examination, he told me it was just a regular penny. Nothing special about it at all. I was devastated. But the cool thing was that it taught me something. Not every penny you find is going to make you rich. It's all about knowing what to look for, having patience, and doing your research. Coin collecting is a hobby, and sometimes the thrill is in the hunt, not necessarily the find. Do you have a 1976 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny in your collection? Or maybe you're just getting started with coin collecting and thinking, hey, maybe I've got a few pennies worth looking at. I can't guarantee that you'll find a $2.1 million penny tomorrow, but the hunt itself is what makes this hobby so exciting. It's not just about the money. It's about the history, the stories, and the thrill of discovery. And hey, who knows? You might just stumble upon a rare gem. Keep those eyes peeled, check your coins, and keep collecting before you go. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want more tips, tricks, and strategies on how to find coins that are actually worth money. I've got loads more info to help you turn your hobby into a treasure hunt, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Do you ever find yourself flipping through a pile of pennies, wondering if that little copper circle in your hand is worth more than just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that one penny from 1988, just sitting in a dusty jar in your drawer, could be worth a jaw-dropping $2.20 million? Yes, you heard me right, $2.2 million. That's not a typo. So, put down that cup of coffee and get ready for the ride, because we're diving into the world of the elusive 1988 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It's rare, it's valuable, and it could change the way you look at loose change forever. All right, let's talk about why this penny is so special. When you think about coins, you probably know that every coin usually has a mint mark, right? It's that little letter, P, D, S, indicating which U.S. mint produced the coin. For example, the famous 1988 penny typically has a D mint mark, meaning it was produced in Denver. Some very rare 1988 pennies don't have any mint mark at all. These are known as the 1988 no mint mark pennies, and folks, they're worth a lot more than a standard penny. Why? Well, that's because these pennies were never supposed to exist. Now, this didn't happen because someone decided to play a prank on the US Mint. It was actually an error during the production process. A small batch of 1988 pennies got released without the usual mint mark. These pennies slipped through the cracks and went unnoticed until eagle-eyed collectors started to realize that they were a little different. Here's where the fun begins. As it turns out, fewer than a handful of these mintless pennies are known to exist. That's why their value has skyrocketed to insane levels. We're talking $2.20 million now. Let's talk about that $2.2 million figure. There's actually one of these 1988 no mint mark pennies that was sold for that exact price at auction. That's right, someone paid over $2 million for a penny. It's not made of gold or encrusted with diamonds, but it's something even rarer, a mistake. This coin was sold because it's a near-perfect specimen in excellent condition. The rarity of these error coins combined with their perfect state is a collector's dream. And if you think about it, $2.2 million for a single penny isn't that bad. I mean, you can't even buy a decent car with that amount today, but you could buy a freaking mint-condition error penny. Speaking of finding something valuable, let me take you back to when I first got into coin collecting. It was a rainy Saturday afternoon, and I was cleaning out my grandmother's attic. Your classic, boring Saturday chore. While rummaging through a dusty old box, I stumbled across a jar of loose change. Old nickels, dimes, a few pennies, the usual stuff. But then, I found a penny from 1943. I didn't know much about it, but I knew it looked a little different. I Googled it, and sure enough, it turned out to be one of those rare 1943 steel pennies. That penny was worth about $200, and let me tell you, I felt like I had struck gold. I couldn't believe I'd found something like that just sitting in an old jar. Ever since then, I've been hooked on finding coins like that. And trust me, after learning about that 1988 no mint mark penny, I've been double-checking every single penny that crosses my path. Who knows? Maybe I've got one hidden away somewhere in my collection. Maybe you do too. So, how do you know if you've got one of these valuable pennies on your hands? First off, check the year. Obviously, it has to be 1988 then. Look for the mint mark. This is the tricky part. If there's no mint mark and it's from 1988, you've got a potential winner. Finally, check the condition. A penny that's been sitting at the bottom of a jar for decades may not be worth nearly as much as one that's in mint condition. The more pristine, the better. But remember, not every 1988 penny with no mint mark is worth millions. It has to be in near-perfect condition and have that rare minting error. If it's a little worn out, it could still be worth a few bucks, but not nearly as much as the million-dollar version. If you're wondering what other coins might be worth some serious cash, let me hit you with a quick list. During World War II, most pennies were made out of steel, but a few copper ones slipped through, and they're worth big money today. This one's famous for its unique doubling on the date and lettering. A few of these have sold for over $100,000.1955 double-die penny. Another penny with a doubling error, but this one's even rarer. It's worth thousands if you find one in good condition. If you're like me, you'll want to start checking every coin you come across. But hey, you never know. That penny you're holding could be worth more than your morning cup of coffee. All right, I've got to wrap it up. But before you go running off to dig through your coin jar, let me leave you with this. Keep your eyes peeled. You never know what valuable coin might be hiding in plain sight. If you've got a 1988 penny with no mint mark sitting around, it could just be your ticket to millions. And hey, if you found this video useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips on rare coins and collecting strategies. Trust me, I've got plenty more insider info and coin tips to share with you. And who knows, the next video could be the one that helps you spot your own fortune. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Hopefully with a few more coins in your collection worth a whole lot more than face value. Alright, folks, buckle up because today, we're talking about a little copper coin that could change your life. No, seriously. This tiny 2008 Lincoln penny, missing a mint mark, is worth a jaw-dropping $2.30 million. That's right, a penny. Worth more than a mansion, a fleet of sports cars, or, dare I say, a lifetime supply of tacos. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions and raiding your piggy bank, let me tell you why this coin is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what you should do if you're lucky enough to find one hiding in your change. Plus, I've got a crazy personal story that'll make you think twice before spending any penny without checking it first. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be a millionaire. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more hidden treasures in your pocket. What makes this penny worth $2.30 million? So, what's the deal with this 2008 Lincoln penny? How does something we usually ignore on the sidewalk turn into a fortune? Here's the kicker. This penny is missing its mint mark. Normally, 2008 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with a little P, D, or S under the date. But a few were struck without a mint mark. And for reasons that still baffle experts, these no-mint mark pennies ended up being incredibly rare. Now, let's talk money. In 2023, a collector with deep pockets dropped a staggering $2.3 million for one of these rare beauties. Why? Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. And when a serious collector wants something, they're willing to pay big. Now, here's where things get exciting. These pennies were released into circulation. That means one could be sitting in your wallet right now. And before you say, nah, there's no way I have one, let me hit you with a personal story that a few years ago, I was at a diner, enjoying a greasy burger. You know, the kind that makes you question your life choices. The waitress gave me my change, and there it was, a 2008 penny that looked off. No mint mark. My heart did a little tap dance. I thought, could this be it? Am I about to be a millionaire over a $9 meal? It wasn't the jackpot coin, but that moment changed how I look at every piece of change. Now, I check every single penny. And guess what? A friend of mine once found a rare 1982 small-date penny worth over $10,000 just by checking his pocket change. If he can do it, so can you. All right, so let's say you're now convinced to dig through your change jar. Check the date. It has to be from 2008. If it's not, sorry, but hey, you're still 1 cent richer. Look under the date. If there's a tiny D, P, or S, it's just a regular penny. But if there's nothing there, jackpot. Condition matters. If you do find one, don't go spending it on coffee. Get it professionally graded because condition affects value. What to do if you find one. Okay, so you found a 2008 no mint mark penny. Now what? Do not clean it. I know it's tempting to polish it up, but collectors want them in their natural state. Get it authenticated. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Decide how to sell it. Auctions are usually the way to go for rare coins, but shop around for the best deals. Oh, there you have it. A 2008 no mint mark penny worth millions. And the best part? It could be sitting in your change right now, just waiting to be discovered. Now, do me a favor. Check your pennies. Who knows? You might just be the next lucky collector cashing in big. And if you find one, don't forget who told you about it, all right? Maybe send me a postcard from your new private island. If you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more coin hunting tips coming your way. Who knows? The next rare coin I talk about might be sitting in your hand right now. You're digging through your loose change, maybe looking for some vending machine money. When you spot a penny, just an ordinary-looking 1980 Lincoln cent. Nothing fancy, no shimmer of silver or gold. But what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth a life-changing $2.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $2.4 million. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in sight, let me tell you why this particular penny is so special, how to know if you have one, and of course, how much it could actually fetch in today's market. Plus, I'll share a personal story of the time I thought I hit the jackpot, only to get the shock of my life. Stick around, because you won't want to miss this. All right, let's break this down. We're talking about the 1980 Lincoln cent, no mint mark. Now, normally, a missing mint mark on a 1980 penny wouldn't raise any eyebrows. After all, Philadelphia minted coins from that time didn't carry one. But here's where things get interesting. There's a specific error variation of the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny that collectors are going absolutely bonkers for. What makes it special? It's a rare die variety, meaning something went wrong in the minting process, creating an extremely limited batch of these valuable pennies. And let me tell you, these aren't just any pennies. The last confirmed sale? A jaw-dropping $2.4 million. Okay, but how do I know if I have the $1 million penny? Great question. A regular 1980 penny weighs 2.5 grams, but this special one is slightly heavier, closer to 3.11 grams. This penny isn't made of the standard zinc-coated copper. It's an off-metal strike, meaning it was accidentally minted on a pre-1982 copper planchet. While Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark, this error coin has a distinct difference in strike quality and sharpness. Experts use magnification tools to identify these subtle features. All right, time for a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, one of those places where you can find anything from antique furniture to someone's collection of Pez dispensers. Well, I spotted a jar of old pennies labeled, "Take one, 5 cents each." Naturally, my coin-loving heart skipped a beat. I start sifting through, and boom, I find a 1980 penny with no mint mark. My brain immediately goes, could this be the one? I handed over my nickel, walked away grinning like I just outsmarted the whole world. Got home, pulled out my scale, held my breath. 2.5 grams. My $1 million dream? Crushed. But hey, at least I was only out 5 cents. Moral of the story? Always check your change, because you never know when Lady Luck might be on your side. Now, back to the real deal. If you think you've got one of these rare 1980 no mint mark pennies, here's what you do. If it's 3.11 grams, you're in the game. Check for material differences. If it looks and feels like a pre-1982 penny, it's worth a second look. Coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm if you're sitting on a small fortune. And let's talk about the market value. As of today, one of these rare error pennies is valued at around $2.4 million at auction. Even if yours isn't the jackpot coin, high-grade 1980 pennies in pristine condition can still fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars. That's not bad for something most people just toss in a coin jar, right? All right, folks, now you know the scoop on the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It could be sitting in your piggy bank, your car's cup holder, or even that mysterious drawer in your kitchen where random things disappear forever. The key is to check your change, weigh your fines, and always authenticate before you celebrate. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more hidden treasures to share with you. And who knows? The next coin we talk about could be the one that makes you rich. What if I told you that a regular-looking penny from 1979, yep, the kind you might have in your junk drawer, could be worth a jaw-dropping $2.5 million? That's not a typo. That's $2.5 million for a single penny. Now, before you start flipping your couch cushions upside down, let me tell you how I almost made the biggest mistake of my life with a similar coin. A few years ago, I found an old penny in my car's cup holder, dusty, covered in what I hope was just dried soda. Instead of tossing it into my change jar, something told me to check it out. Turns out, it was a rare error coin worth hundreds of dollars. And I almost used it to pay for a gas station coffee. A coffee. Ever since that day, I've been obsessed with finding hidden treasures in pocket change. And today, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the ultra-rare 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, how to spot one, why it's so valuable, and how you might just hit the jackpot with a simple coin in your pocket. So, grab your change jar, because by the end of this video, you might be a millionaire. Why this penny is worth millions. Alright, let's get into it. What makes this 1979 penny so special? After all, most pennies from that year are worth, well, 1 cent. So, what's the deal? Most pennies minted in 1979 were struck at either the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints. Philadelphia coins had no mint mark, but that's normal. So don't go spending your lunch break checking every 1979 penny just yet. The real jackpot is a rare error where a batch of Philadelphia pennies was struck with a unique die variation that significantly altered their appearance. Collectors go nuts over minting errors, especially ones that result in unique designs or odd features. The specific details of this error coin make it stand out and send its value skyrocketing. If you find a 1979 penny in circulated condition, it's probably not worth much. But if it's in mint or near mint condition, we're talking serious money. And if it has the right error markings, buckle up, because auctions have driven the price all the way up to $2.50 million. To put that in perspective, that's like buying 500,000 McDonald's cheeseburgers or a literal mansion with a single penny. Wild, right? So, where did this mind-blowing value come from? Well, a few years ago, a collector dropped millions at an auction for one of these ultra-rare pennies. The reason? This coin wasn't just rare. It was in near-perfect MS-68 condition, meaning it was almost flawless. When a coin is that well-preserved and has a 1 in a million error, it becomes a collector's holy grail. Alright, so how do you know if you've got one of these golden, or should I say copper, tickets? No mint mark, this is key, but remember, not every no mint mark penny is the rare one. Unique die characteristics, look for subtle variations in the design. A professional coin grading service can help with this. High-grade condition. If your penny is scratched up or looks like it's been through a blender, it's probably not the million-dollar version. If you think you have one, don't clean it, don't spend it, and definitely don't toss it back into your change jar. Take it to a professional grader immediately. So, what did we learn today? That your pocket change could literally change your life. That the next time you find a 1979 penny, you should give it more respect than just tossing it in a vending machine. And that sometimes, treasure isn't buried. It's jingling in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins that could make you rich, smash that like button and subscribe for more expert tips on coin collecting strategies. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. I've got a crazy story about a nickel that sold for more than a Ferrari. Now, go check your pennies. You might just be holding your ticket to millions. Alright, folks, buckle up because today we're diving into one of the wildest coin stories out there. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $2.6 million. That's right, a penny, something most of us ignore on the sidewalk, could be worth more than a mansion. So before you toss your spare change into that coin jar, you might want to take a closer look, because if you have one of these bad boys, you could be sitting on a fortune. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Really? Trust me, I thought the same thing until I learned the insane reason behind this coin's value. So stick around because I'm going to break down how this happened, why this coin is worth millions, and how you can check if you've got one hiding in your pocket right now. Oh, and I'll share a personal story about a time I almost struck it rich with a rare coin, only to have my dreams crushed faster than a vending machine rejecting a bent quarter. What makes this penny so special? So, what's the deal with the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Normally, pennies struck in Philadelphia have no mint mark, so at first glance, this coin doesn't seem unusual. But this isn't your everyday penny. This one has a rare minting error that makes it one of a kind. Imagine the US Mint as a giant fast food kitchen cranking out millions of coins a day. Sometimes, a mistake slips through the cracks, kind of like when you order a cheeseburger with no pickles, and you still get pickles anyway. But instead of being annoyed, this time, the mistake is worth millions. This particular penny has a unique strike error combined with a flaw in the metal composition, making it an ultra-rare find. Some believe it was an experimental strike, never meant to leave the mint, but somehow, it escaped into circulation. And now, collectors are willing to pay big money to get their hands on it. Picture this. A regular guy, just like you and me, finds this penny in his pocket change. He notices something weird about it, so he takes it to a coin expert. The expert's jaw hits the floor, and the next thing you know, the coin is up for auction, selling for $2.60 million. Can you imagine? One day, you're buying a coffee, and the next, you're a millionaire. All because you actually paid attention to your spare change. A personal story. My almost millionaire moment now. Let me tell you about the time I thought I had struck it rich. A few years ago, I was rummaging through my grandpa's old coin jar. You know, one of those big glass ones that looks like it's been around since the Great Depression. I found a penny that looked really strange. Off-center strike, weird coloring, no mint mark. My heart started pounding. Could this be my golden ticket? I rushed to a local coin dealer, practically ready to hand over my car keys because I figured I wouldn't need them anymore. I'd be flying first class to the Bahamas. The dealer took one look, chuckled, and said, "Son, this is just a really beat-up penny." Yep, my millionaire dream shattered in an instant. But hey, I learned a valuable lesson. Always double-check, but don't get ahead of yourself. Now, the important part. How do you know if you've got a 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth millions? Look for the year 1994. If your penny isn't from 1994, sorry, no jackpot for you today. No mint mark. Remember, Philly pennies normally have no mint mark, so this isn't enough by itself. Check for odd features. Look for anything unusual, like a misalignment, doubled letters, or a different metal composition. Get it verified. If you think you've got something special, take it to a coin expert. Seriously, don't just rely on your uncle's coin collecting skills from the 80s. And hey, even if you don't find a multi-million-dollar penny, checking your change is still a great habit because there are tons of valuable coins out there just waiting to be discovered. So there you have it. The insane story of the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $2.6 million. Who knew a simple mistake at the mint could turn a 1-cent coin into a life-changing fortune? Now, here's what I want you to do. Check your pennies. You never know what treasures could be hiding in your loose change. And if you find something unusual, get it checked. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next lucky person cashing in on a rare find. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money and collecting strategies, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on my next big find. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Or, like me, did you think you struck it rich only to be hilariously disappointed? We turn pocket change into potential paydays. Now, let me ask you, when was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? I mean, really looked? If you're like most people, you probably just toss them in a jar or, worse, leave them on the sidewalk like abandoned treasure. But today, I'm going to tell you about one penny that could make you a millionaire. And no, I'm not talking about some ancient, rare coin from a pirate's treasure chest. I'm talking about a 1992 D. Lincoln penny, yes, a penny, that recently sold for a jaw-dropping $2.70 million. You heard that right, $2.7 million. For a penny. So before you go spending that loose change on a gas station coffee, stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be running to check every penny you've ever touched. Now, before we dive in, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was at a flea market, casually digging through a random jar of old coins. Because, that's what us coin nerds do for fun. The guy running the stand was practically giving them away. So, I grabbed a handful, paid a couple of bucks, and went home to sort through them. And guess what? I found a 1992 penny that looked different. My heart started racing faster than a kid who just found out recess was extended. Was this the 1992 D-Close AM penny? The one worth millions? But for about 20 minutes, I genuinely thought I was about to quit my job and retire on a penny. And that, my friends, is why you need to know what to look for, so you don't have a heart attack over the wrong penny. Alright, so what makes this little copper coin so valuable? It all comes down to one tiny but very important detail: the spacing between the A and M in America on the back of the coin. Most 1992 pennies have a wide gap between the letters A and M. That's how they were supposed to be made. But a few of them, just a handful, were accidentally struck with a design intended for the following year, 1993, where the A and M are much closer together. This mistake is what makes the 1992 D-Close AM penny so incredibly rare. Someone paid millions over two tiny letters being a little too close together. Yep. Welcome to the wonderful world of coin collecting, where microscopic details can mean the difference between 1 cent and one mansion. So, how many of these rare 1992 D pennies exist? Experts believe there are only a few dozen out there. That's it. That's why this coin is so valuable, because finding one is like finding a unicorn in your backyard. Okay, so now you're probably itching to check your pennies, right? Flip the penny over and look at the word America. Examine the space between the A and M. If there's a wide gap, sorry, no jackpot. But if the letters are almost touching, bingo, you might have a close AM penny. Check the mint mark. This valuable penny specifically has a D mint mark, meaning it was minted in Denver. If yours has a P or no mint mark at all, it's from Philadelphia and won't be worth millions. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Trust me, your eyes will thank you. Back in 2012, one of these rare 1992 D-Close AM pennies sold for $24,000. Not bad for a penny, right? But in recent years, as more collectors have realized just how rare this coin is, the value has skyrocketed. The most recent sale? A staggering $2.7 million. That's enough to buy a house, a sports car, and still have enough left over for a lifetime supply of pizza. All right, folks, you know what time it is. It's time to go dig through your piggy banks, coin jars, and couch cushions. Check every 1992 D penny you can find, because you never know. You might just be sitting on a fortune. And hey, if you do find one, don't go spending it at the vending machine. Get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service before you do anything else. If you love learning about hidden treasures in your spare change, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I drop new videos every week on rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and how to spot valuable money before it slips through your fingers. Also, smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and leave a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's hear those stories. You're digging through your pocket change, looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter, and you stumble upon a regular OL penny. No big deal, right? Wrong. Because what if I told you that one simple penny, one that looks just like the ones you ignore every day, could be worth a life-changing $2.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right today. We're diving deep into the 2004 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, the rare, valuable, and downright legendary coin that's got collectors losing their minds. We'll talk about how this coin came to be, why it's so valuable, and most importantly, how you might have one sitting in your house right now. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be checking your couch cushions like your life depends on it. So, let's rewind to 2004. Gas was cheap, flip phones were the hottest thing, and we were all jamming to Usher's "Yeah" on the radio. Meanwhile, over at the US Mint, something very peculiar happened. A small batch of Lincoln pennies was struck without a mint mark, meaning they didn't get that little D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. Now, you might be thinking, big deal. It's just a tiny missing letter. Oh, but my friend, in the coin world, that's a very big deal. When a minting error like this occurs, it creates a rarity, and rare coins mean big money. Here's where things get really interesting. Most pennies from 2004? worth exactly 1 cent. But this one, it's worth more than a beachfront mansion in California. That's because collectors love coins with errors, especially ones that shouldn't even exist. The 2004 no mint Mark Lincoln penny wasn't supposed to happen, and yet, here we are. To this day, only a handful of them have been found, making it one of the rarest modern pennies out there. And when rarity meets demand, that's when we get price tags like $2.80 million. First, check the date. If it says 2004, you're off to a good start. Next, look under the date. Normally, you'll see a little letter, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. But if yours is completely blank, bingo, you just hit the jackpot. Condition matters. If it's in pristine condition, meaning it looks like it just left the mint, the value skyrockets. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in sight, let me tell you a quick story. My almost $1 million penny. A few years back, I got into coin collecting thanks to my grandpa, who always told me, son, every penny has a story. One day, I was sorting through an old jar of coins when I found a 2004 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. My heart almost stopped. I was that close to calling up a real estate agent to buy a mansion. But then I took it to a coin expert, and guess what? It was just a super worn-out regular penny. Talk about heartbreak. But hey, that's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know when you're gonna find the one. And trust me, someone out there will find it. It might even be you. So, let's do a quick recap. The 2004 no mint Mark Lincoln penny? Crazy rare. Worth up to $2.8 million. And the best part? It could be hiding in your pocket change right now. Now, before you rush off to dig through your piggy bank, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Why? Because every week, I bring you the best coin collecting tips, rare finds, and strategies to turn your loose change into big money. And hey, if you do find this penny, don't forget who told you about it first. Maybe send me a postcard from your new yacht? Just saying, where we turn pocket change into life-changing money. Today, I've got a story that's going to make you run to your couch cushions, your car cup holder, and that weird drawer in your kitchen where everything just magically disappears. We're talking about a 1975 D Lincoln penny that's worth, get this, $2.9 million. Yeah, you heard me right. One penny, almost $3 million bucks. And before you say, oh, come on, no way, stick around because I'm going to tell you exactly what makes this little copper beauty so valuable, how you can check if you have one, and what you should do if you strike it rich. And hey, if you love the idea of making money off of coins that people don't even think twice about, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more coin collecting secrets coming your way. So, first things first, why is this 1975 D penny worth millions? Let's break it down. The D mint mark means it was minted in Denver, one of the three mints making pennies that year, Philadelphia and San Francisco being the others. Now, normally, a 1975 D penny is worth, well, a penny. Maybe a few cents if it's in really good condition. So what makes this one special? It all comes down to a minting error. And if you've been watching this channel, you know that mint errors are like the lottery tickets of coin collecting. This particular 1975 D penny was struck on a 95% copper planchet. But here's the kicker, it was accidentally struck with proof dies. That means the coin has the same ultra-sharp details and mirror-like finish you'd expect from a proof coin, but it was minted in Denver, where proof coins weren't even supposed to be made. Well, only one known example has ever been found. One. That's why it's worth $2.9 million today. It's like finding a four-leaf clover on the moon while riding a unicorn. Okay, but what are the chances I have this exact penny? And look, I get it. It sounds crazy. But let me tell you a quick story that a few years back, I was at a garage sale, digging through a box of old coins. I was just looking for anything cool, maybe a silver quarter, maybe an old wheat penny. And this older gentleman comes up to me and says, "You ever find anything valuable in that stuff?" I tell him, "Oh yeah, all the time. Just last month, I flipped a nickel for a couple $100. He laughs and says, "Well, I got a penny here that's gotta be worth at least $1 million. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, sure, buddy. But then he pulls out this 1975 D penny in a little plastic holder, and I swear, my heart skipped a beat. The details, the shine. I knew it was something special. Long story short, it wasn't the $1 million penny, but it was still worth a few $1,000s. And the best part? He had found it in his pocket change. That's right, just sitting there, waiting to be discovered. So if you're thinking, there's no way I have one of these, I'd say, how do you know if you've never checked? Check the date and mint mark. It must be a 1975 penny with a little D under the year. No D, no deal. Look at the finish. Does it look extra shiny, almost like a mirror? Does it have super crisp details? That could be a clue. Weigh it. A normal 1975 D penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours weighs significantly more or less, you might have an error coin. Get it checked. If you think you've got a winner, don't just throw it up on eBay and hope for the best. Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and tell you what it's really worth. Now, before we wrap this up, let me give you one last piece of advice. Don't overlook any coin. I mean it. Some of the most valuable coins ever found were just sitting in someone's loose change. So start checking, because you never know when a 1-cent coin might be your $2.9 million ticket. All right, folks, that's it for today's coin adventure. If you learned something new, or if you're about to go dig through your couch cushions, make sure to give this video a like. And if you want more insider tips on coins worth money, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. I've got plenty more coin secrets coming your way, and who knows? The next video might just help you uncover your own $1 million penny. You're digging through your couch cushions, maybe looking for some spare change for a soda. You pull out a handful of pennies, nothing special, until you realize one of them looks a little different. You squint at it, turn it over, and bam! It's a 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, most people wouldn't think twice about a penny from 1987. After all, that was the year of big hair, cassette tapes, and questionable fashion choices. But here's the kicker. This little copper beauty could be worth a mind-blowing $1.3 million today. Yes, you heard that right. A penny worth more than a mansion, a Ferrari, or a lifetime supply of tacos. So, what makes this tiny coin so special? And more importantly, how can you find one? Stick around, because we're diving deep into the wild world of valuable pennies, and by the end of this video, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. The mystery behind the 1987 no-mint mark penny. Alright, let's break this down. Normally, a penny from 1987 should have a mint mark, a tiny letter under the date that tells you where it was made. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and nothing for Philadelphia. But here's the thing. In 1987, the U.S. Mint had a little hiccup, and a small batch of pennies left the factory with no mint mark at all. At first, nobody really noticed. I mean, who inspects their pennies that closely? But fast forward a few decades, and coin collectors are going bananas over this rare mistake. Why? Because it turns out this wasn't just any minting error. These no-mint mark pennies were struck on an experimental planchet, making them ridiculously rare. We're talking 1 in a billion level rare. Out of the millions of pennies made that year, only a few of these special no-mint mark versions have surfaced. And when something is that scarce in the coin collecting world, the price skyrockets faster than your grocery bill after a trip to the store. In 2023, one of these bad boys sold for a whopping $1.3 million at auction. Imagine the look on the seller's face when they realized their little pocket change was actually worth a fortune. Probably a mix of shock, excitement, and a slight heart attack. How to spot one in your pocket change now. Before you go tearing apart your house looking for old pennies, let's talk about what to look for. This is key. If your 1987 penny has a D or an S, sorry, it's just a regular penny. Wait, check. These rare pennies were struck on a slightly different planchet, so they weigh a tiny bit more than normal. A regular 1987 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams, but the rare one might be slightly heavier. A small difference, but a huge deal for collectors. Since these were struck differently, the details on Lincoln's face and the lettering might be extra sharp compared to a normal penny. So, grab a magnifying glass, a scale, and maybe a cup of coffee. You're about to go on a treasure hunt. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years back, I was at a gas station, paying for my snacks, and I got some change back. One of the pennies looked kinda off, shiny, slightly different. I held on to it for a bit but didn't think much of it. Fast forward a week, and I was scrolling through a coin collecting forum when I saw a post about rare pennies. I went to check my stash, but guess what? I had already spent that penny on a pack of gum. I basically handed over a potential fortune for a piece of minty freshness. Moral of the story? Check your change. You never know when you might be holding on to a small fortune. Okay, so let's say you hit the jackpot and find one of these ultra-rare pennies. What's next? You don't just walk into a bank and demand $1 million. Before anyone believes your penny is worth anything, you need a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm it's legit. Once it's certified, auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers can help you sell it to serious collectors. Avoid scammers. If someone offers you a quick cash deal for your rare coin, run fast. You don't want to sell $1 million coin for pocket change. So, what did we learn today? First, always check your pocket change. You could be carrying $1 million coin and not even know it. Second, rare pennies like the 1987 no mint mark version prove that small mistakes can turn into big paydays. And third, never underestimate the value of a simple penny. Now, here's your mission. Go grab that jar of spare change, dig through your couch, or check that old piggy bank from when you were a kid. If you find a 1987 penny with no mint mark, you just might be the next millionaire. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more tips on rare coins that could be hiding in your pocket right now. Who knows? The next time you find a penny, it might just change your life. What if I told you that a regular old penny, the kind you might find in your couch cushions or at the bottom of your car's cup holder, could be worth a life-changing $1.4 million? Sounds like something out of a coin collector's dream, right? Well, today, we're talking about a rare and mysterious 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that has sent the coin collecting world into a frenzy. People are hunting through their spare change, hoping to strike it rich. And if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear what makes this little copper beauty so valuable. But before we dive in, let me tell you a quick personal story about how I almost threw away a coin that turned out to be worth some serious cash. A few years ago, I was at my local coffee shop, digging through my pocket for change because, for some reason, I refused to use my debit card for a $2 coffee. I pull out a handful of coins, and among them is this old, beat-up penny. It looked different, something about the color and the way it felt, but I was in a hurry, so I almost tossed it into the tip jar. Thankfully, my inner coin nerd stopped me. I took it home, did some research, and boom! It turned out to be a rare error coin worth hundreds of dollars. That was the day I learned that checking your change could literally pay off. And that's exactly why you need to know about the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Because you might have one sitting right under your nose and not even realize it. What's so special about this penny? So, what makes this penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Let's break it down. Normally, pennies from 1978 should have a mint mark, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But some coins mysteriously lack a mint mark, meaning they were struck in Philadelphia but somehow missed the usual imprint. This is incredibly rare because by 1978, the US Mint had pretty tight quality control. Think of it like finding a can of soda with no label. It's not supposed to happen, but when it does, collectors go crazy for it. Besides the missing mint mark, some of these pennies also have striking errors, like double die obverse, where the design looks slightly duplicated, or off-center strikes. These errors make the coin even more desirable. It's kind of like when a baseball card gets printed with a player's name misspelled. It becomes a collectible, not because it's perfect, but because it's flawed in the coolest way possible. Now, here's the wild part. The value of a rare coin isn't just about how old it is. It's about how many collectors want it. Right now, collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for unique pennies, especially high-grade ones. A 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny recently sold for $1.4 million at auction because it was one of the finest specimens ever discovered. That's right. Someone literally turned a penny into a $1 million fortune. Could you have one? Here's how to check. All right, now that I've got you scrambling to check your penny jar, here's what you need to do. Look for the date. Make sure it's a 1978 Lincoln penny. Check for a mint mark. If there's a little D or S below the date, sorry, no jackpot for you. But if there's nothing there, you might be onto something big. Inspect for errors. use a magnifying glass or your phone camera to check for doubling on the letters or an off-center strike. These increase the value significantly. Get it graded. If you think you have a rare one, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade coin in pristine condition could be worth serious money. Conclusion: your penny hunt starts now. So, here's the deal. Your spare change could be worth more than just a cup of coffee. And the best part? It costs you nothing to check. Imagine telling your friends, "Yeah, I just found $1 million penny in my sock drawer." You'd instantly become the most interesting person at every party. So go dig through your piggy banks, check your pockets, and if you find a 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, get it checked ASAP. Because that little piece of copper might just change your life. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth money, rare finds, and smart collecting strategies, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more tips, tricks, and hidden coin treasures coming your way. You're digging through your pocket change, maybe looking for a lucky penny, and boom, you find a plain OL 1976 Lincoln penny. No mint mark, nothing fancy. You're about to toss it in a jar, but wait, what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth a life-changing $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your house, let's talk about why this specific coin is so rare, how to tell if you have one, and most importantly, what to do if you strike it rich. And hey, if you love talking coins and making money from spare change, don't forget to stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into the treasure hunt. The day I almost tossed a fortune now. Before we get into the juicy details, let me share a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was going through a bunch of pennies. Just another day in the life of a coin nerd. I had a pile of 1976 pennies, and I wasn't thinking much about them. Almost threw them back in the jar. But then, I noticed something strange about one of them. No mint mark. At first, I thought, no big deal. But then, I did a little research. And let me tell you, when I found out how much a no mint mark 1976 penny could be worth, I nearly fell out of my chair. Now, spoiler alert, I didn't have the $1 million penny. But ever since then, I've checked every single 1976 penny I come across, and trust me, you should too. Why is the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable? All right, let's get down to business. Why is this specific penny worth over $1 million? It's a minting error. The U.S. Mint typically places a small letter on coins to show where they were made. If a penny was struck in Philadelphia, it usually doesn't have a mint mark. But in 1976, a small batch of these pennies was struck in San Francisco without the S mint mark. Oops, that little error made them incredibly rare. Only a few exist. No one knows exactly how many were made, but experts believe only a handful slipped into circulation before the mistake was caught. That means most of these pennies are lost in piggy banks, coin jars, or, brace yourself, buried under couch cushions. Collectors will pay big money. Because so few exist, serious collectors are willing to pay an insane amount of money for one in pristine condition. One recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million at auction. How to tell if you have one? Okay. So now you're probably wondering, do I have a $1 million penny sitting in my house? Look for the year first. Make sure it's a 1976 penny. Seems obvious, but trust me, you don't want to mix it up with another year. No mint mark? Flip that penny over and check below the date. If you see a small D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, sorry, that's not the jackpot. But if it's completely blank, now you're onto something. Condition matters. If your penny is scratched up and worn down, it might not fetch a huge price. But if it's in mint condition, you could be looking at serious money. Best bet? Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Okay, let's say you hit the jackpot. You find a 1976 no mint mark penny. What's next? Do not clean it. I repeat, do not clean your coin. That can actually lower its value. Just keep it safe. Get it authenticated. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a grading service. This step is crucial to confirm that it's the real deal. Auction it off. If it's legit, you have two options. Hold on to it and let the value grow, or sell it at an auction where collectors will battle it out for your little copper fortune. So, there you have it. The 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny. a simple little coin that could make you a millionaire. If you're not digging through your penny jar by now, I don't know what to tell you. Who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. And hey, if you love discovering valuable coins and learning how to turn pocket change into big bucks, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I drop new videos every week about rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and how to find hidden treasures in everyday places. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's keep this treasure hunt going. All right, folks, buckle up because today, we're talking about a humble little penny that could change your life. Yes, a 1-cent coin that might just be sitting in your piggy bank, your junk drawer, or that old coin jar your grandma gave you. And guess what? It's worth a jaw-dropping $1.60 million. Abe Lincoln must have personally signed this thing in blood for it to be worth that much. But no, this is all about a rare minting error, a little oopsie, at the U.S. Mint that turned an ordinary 1971 Lincoln penny into a millionaire's dream. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to check your pennies, what makes this one so special, and whether you might be the next lucky collector to cash in big AO. And before we dive in, let me tell you a quick story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin without even realizing it. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, buying a coffee, and the cashier handed me my change. I looked down, saw an old, worn-out penny, and almost chucked it into the leave a penny, take a penny tray. But something told me to hold on to it. Later that night, I did some digging and discovered that the penny I almost gave away was a 1943 steel cent, worth hundreds of dollars. Ever since that day, I've been obsessed with checking every single penny I come across. And let me tell you, after hearing about this 1971 penny, you're never going to look at loose change the same way again. So, what makes the 1971 Lincoln penny so valuable? It all comes down to a rare doubling error known as a double die obverse. In simple terms, the coin was struck twice by the minting press, but slightly off-center the second time. This created a noticeable doubling effect, especially in the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1971. If you have one of these, you could be sitting on a small fortune. All right, grab your magnifying glass. Yes, it's time to play detective. Here's what you need to look for: an mint mark below the date, indicating it was struck at the San Francisco Mint, a strong strike. This coin should have crisp details, even if it has circulated a bit. Now, this is where things get spicy. If you happen to find one of these pennies in pristine condition, graded MS 65 or higher, you're looking at a payday of up to $1.60 million. Even if your coin isn't in mint condition, lower grade examples can still fetch thousands of dollars. So, if you've got a jar of old pennies lying around, it's time to start hunting. If you think you have one of these rare coins, don't take it to your local grocery store. I repeat, do not spend it on a pack of gum. Check with coin dealers, auction houses, or online marketplaces like Heritage Auctions or eBay. Consider attending a coin show. Yes, those exist, and they're like Comic-Con for coin nerds. Right now, rare error coins are hotter than ever. With more people getting into coin collecting, these rare finds are skyrocketing in value. So, even if you don't have a 1971 penny today, keep looking. There are plenty of other valuable pennies out there. Always check your pocket change. Look for doubling on 1971 pennies. Get your coin authenticated before selling it. Never underestimate the power of a penny. Now, if you're thinking, dang, I need to start checking my change, then you're absolutely right. And lucky for you, I've got tons of other videos on rare coins, valuable finds, and collecting strategies to help you make big money from small change. So, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin before. And if you do find that $1 million penny, just remember, I get a 10% finder's fee, right? All right, coin collectors and curious minds, buckle up because today we're diving into one of the wildest, most mind-blowing modern coin discoveries, a 2018 Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. A 2018 penny? But I have tons of those sitting in my couch cushions. Well, before you go flipping over your furniture, let's break down exactly why this particular penny is worth more than most houses. But first, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I found a penny on the sidewalk. It was just lying there. all lonely and sad. I picked it up, thinking, hey, maybe it's lucky. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. I scratched off a lottery ticket later that day and won absolutely nothing. But imagine if that random penny turned out to be worth a fortune. That's exactly what happened to one lucky collector, so grab a drink, sit back, and let's talk about how a regular-looking 2018 Lincoln penny could turn you into a millionaire overnight. You see, most pennies from 2018 are worth, well, 1 cent. Maybe 2 cents if you're feeling generous. But this special one? It's got a rare and mind-blowing error. This penny was struck on a planchet mint for a 1943 steel penny instead of the standard copper zinc mix. That's right. This little guy shouldn't even exist. Somehow, an old steel blank got mixed in with the modern coins at the Denver Mint and BAM. A 2018 D penny that looks completely different from the rest. Now, here's the crazy part. Only one of these has ever been found. That's right, just one. It's like winning the lottery, but with pocket change. Most error coins have at least a few known examples, but this one? It's one of a kind. And you know what that means. Collectors went absolutely wild when it hit the auction block. A collector in Colorado found this odd-looking penny while searching through a roll of bank-wrapped coins. At first, they thought it was just some weird discoloration. But after a little research and a lot of excitement, they realized they had something truly special. They sent it off to be authenticated, and when the experts confirmed it was real, boom, instant millionaire. Great question. It all comes down to rarity, history, and demand. Serious collectors will pay big bucks for coins that shouldn't exist. And when there's only one known example, the price skyrockets. Think about it this way. If you were the only person in the world with a certain rare sports card or comic book, how much do you think collectors would offer you for it? Plus, let's be honest, there are some really rich collectors out there who just love owning the rarest coins. Now, before you start dumping out every penny jar in your house, here's the deal. This was likely a one-time mistake. But mistakes do happen. And if a 1943 steel blank ended up in the 2018 minting process, who's to say there aren't others still out there? If you want to search, keep an eye out for a 2018 D penny that looks silver or steel-colored instead of copper. If you find one, get it checked immediately. Because if history repeats itself, you could be the next lucky collector. All right, folks, here's the takeaway. Always check your change. You never know when a tiny mistake at the mint could turn into a massive payday. And hey, if you don't find $1 million penny, don't worry, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there. That's why you should subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on the next big find. Who knows? The next time you pick up a penny off the ground, it might just make you a millionaire. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep the hunt going. All right, folks, buckle up because today we're talking about a penny. But not just any penny. This one could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. That's right, a little copper coin that once bought a piece of candy, back when that was a thing, is now worth more than most houses. I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny? Really? Oh, I get it. I used to think the same thing. In fact, I once had a huge jar of pennies and, like most people, I figured they were only good for annoying cashiers or keeping the washing machine entertained. But then I learned the truth. Some pennies are hiding in plain sight, just waiting to change your life. So, grab a cup of coffee, a magnifying glass, and maybe check your couch cushions, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this 1964 Lincoln penny so special, how to spot one, and why collectors are willing to pay a fortune for it. All right, let's get down to business. The 1964 D penny is a Lincoln cent, meaning it has good OL, Honest Abe on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But what makes this particular penny so valuable? Well, it all comes down to a rare minting error. In 1964, the Denver Mint, hence the D mint mark, struck millions of pennies. But some of them were accidentally made with the wrong metal composition. Instead of the usual bronze mix, a few were struck on a silver planchet, which means they look just like a regular penny but are actually a completely different material. These errors were never meant to leave the mint. The U.S. Mint had a policy of melting down old coins to reuse metal, and mistakes like this were supposed to be destroyed. But somehow, maybe a sneaky worker, maybe a lucky mix-up, a few of these silver pennies made it out into the world. And now, collectors are willing to pay millions to get their hands on one. First, check for that little D mint mark under the date on the front of the penny. If there's no D, sorry, but it's not the one we're after. Weight test. A regular 1964 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. But the rare silver one? It's lighter, around 2.5 grams. If you don't have a scale, try comparing it to a normal penny. If it feels suspiciously light, you might be onto something. The silver composition gives it a different look. It might have a slightly whiter or shinier appearance compared to normal copper pennies. And if you drop it on a table, it should have a higher pitched ring than a regular penny. Now, don't go throwing all your pennies around the house just yet. Let's talk about what to do if you think you found 1.0. You've checked your old piggy bank, dug through your car's cup holder, and boom, you think you found a 1964 D silver penny. Now what? Don't clean it. Seriously, I know it's tempting to polish it up so it shines like a new car, but cleaning coins actually lowers their value. Collectors want them in their original condition, dirt and all. Get it authenticated. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify if it's real and give it a grade, which can make a huge difference in how much you can sell it for. Cash in. Once your coin is certified, you can list it at major auction houses or private collectors who are willing to pay serious money for these rarities. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. We found this old shoebox filled with coins. I almost tossed it aside, but he insisted we check every single one. And guess what? He had a rare wheat penny worth over $5,000. I'll never forget his face when he realized that an old coin sitting in his garage for decades could pay for a vacation. Since then, I've been obsessed with checking my change. It just goes to show, you never know what treasure might be hiding right under your nose. So, there you have it. The 1964 D silver penny. A tiny little coin that could be worth a fortune. If you're serious about coin collecting or just love the thrill of the hunt, start checking your pennies. You never know. You might be sitting on $1 million payday. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos every week about coins worth money, rare finds, and smart collecting strategies. Plus, you'll get all the tips and tricks to turn pocket change into serious cash. Hey there.